in so long. 17-1 in the conference, shared the league title with Wichita State and Illinois State, the 1 seed in the Valley Tournament. And here we are, arriving on semifinal day, Arch Madness, here in downtown St. Louis. Semi number 1, Illinois State against the 4 seed Southern Illinois. Tony Wills on the opening possession drills a 3 for the Redbirds.
27th year in St. Louis for Arch Madness. The Valley and St. Louis synonymous with March Madness.
Mike Rodriguez out front for Sean O'Brien. Teak Bowl out there as well. Sean Lloyd had a big game in the quarterfinals yesterday. Knocked away by Tony Wills. That's his calling card. Has it stripped away by Lloyd at the other end. And the officials get together. It'll stay at this end.
How do you battle a double team? You pass over the top. Wills wide open. Threes are not his thing, but he can make them.
3-0 start for the top seed Illinois State. 25 wins in the regular season. Baseline jumper is good, and it's a hot start. Mikhail McIntosh.
McIntosh had knee surgery. 2 weeks later, he was out playing again. Unbelievable. Before his knee surgery, he was quicker. He's only about 80% in my estimation right now, but he can play.
The face-up shot won't go for Teak Bowl, the junior from Omaha. And the Redbirds a 5-0 start, 1 minute deep. This is the player of the year in the Valley, Paris Lee.
Leading steal player in all of college basketball.
2 steals a game, 1 and 5 assists. Tony Wills misfires, but an offensive rebound for Phil Fain. Paris Lee connects from long range. It's 8-0 Illinois State.
Most threes in the league as well.
Sean O'Brien in the pick and roll. Gets blocked, pinned against the glass by McIntosh. Kept alive inside, though. And the first bucket of the game for Southern Illinois goes to Teak Bowl. Quickly the other way. Turnaround, rolls off. Tap try wouldn't go. And corralled by Armand Fletcher on the rebound.
Illinois State 17-1. Wichita State 17-1. They each won on their home court. Both vying to get to the final tomorrow.
Sean Lloyd raises up and he drills a 3, and it's 8-5 just like that.
He played the best of all of the Salukis yesterday. Mid-sized guy, can shoot it, can drive it, very physical.
Three-point edge in the opening 2.5 minutes. Wills rotates it. McIntosh, you bet.
How about the ball movement, bro?
These guys came to play here in the semis. Desperation for Illinois State, squarely on the NCAA tournament bubble.
Dan Muller told us yesterday they need to play with a sense of desperation today. This is their elimination game in his mind.
Pass rifled in, never got to Sean O'Brien, who struggled in a big way yesterday. That said, he got all the attention and more from the opponent, which he has all year. The fall away won't go for McIntosh, and 1 and done that time for the Redbirds. Here comes Rodriguez, trying and kicks. Wing 3 is in for Sean Lloyd, the sophomore from Philadelphia.
O'Brien, all conference. Lee, all conference.
Tony Wills, again from outside.
Wills, the all-hair team.
You can throw Paris Lee on that team as well. Pick and roll. O'Brien couldn't convert, and Wills clears it for Illinois State.
They've got 5-on-4. Bowl is not down there yet. Take it to the hoop.
McIntosh slicing in, and he scores it.
They are taking advantage of every little mistake. They've hit threes out of double teams. Bowls fall down. They have 5-on-4. Layup. Move it around the perimeter. Get to the open man. 3. Excellence on display.
Sean O'Brien pops out. Armand Fletcher on a 3. It's too strong. Teak Bowl fighting for the rebound. And we're at the under 16, the top seed Illinois State. begins 6 of 10, 4 of 5 on threes.
Move the ball. Find your teammates. Knock it in. Palm has them as an 11 seed. The question, of course, is whether they win the tournament or if they get to the final, what's going to happen in the at-large situation.
And we said all year, we feel like if they can just sneak in, they could be a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament. Wouldn't be surprised in the least.
Well, Missouri Valley all the time has that. Last year, UNI beats Texas. Wichita State wins 2 games against Arizona and against Vanderbilt. Missouri Valley history of winning in the NCAAs.
Armand Fletcher in rhythm, too strong on a 3, and pulled down by the Redbirds. That's DJ Clayton in off the bench. They go about 8 deep. Keyshawn Evans, DJ Clayton, David Njai, and this is Evans. And you love it when he and Lee are in the game at the same time, and we will see that today.
No doubt about it. He had 16 yesterday. He's shooting about 50% from three-point range in the last 5 or 6 games.
Fletcher the rebound. Here comes 7 Illinois, down by 8. They get Sean Lloyd out there with Sean O'Brien, who's got it right here.
Isolation play.
O'Brien splits defenders, had a shot changed. Tap try wouldn't go, and rebounded by Deontay Hawkins.
Credit Njai, he was there to challenge. I was told today, right before the game, that O'Brien has a little bit of a back issue. It's bothering him, and you and I were wondering about his play yesterday. It wasn't very good. He was 2 for 9, and we've seen him play much, much better than that. Triple team at the top of the key. Shoot it anyway.
Hawkins can't connect this time. Rodriguez wants to run. Senior from Boston. Rodriguez in the lane. Kicks back, and now Lloyd, defended by Wills. Screen by Pohl. Lloyd attacks, misses, weak side board, and the stick back for O'Brien.
That happens a lot when your man goes to help. It's a sign for you to go to the offensive glass, which Mr. O'Brien did very nicely there.
You know, when we talked to Barry Hinson, he said, you know, we're just a bunch of kind of misfits and goobers and all that. Of course, he meant that in the best of terms with these guys, but he knew they'd have to gut it out and somehow score, and they have struggled to score this year as Illinois State gets a nice one there right at the rim.
The pace of the game is not in favor of Barry Hinson's style of play with this particular team.
18-10, Rodriguez leaves it off. O'Brien lost it. It'll stay with Southern Illinois, 14 to shoot. Monday, 6 Eastern, join us in the studio for Drive to NCAA March Madness, presented by AT&T. Our panel of experts brings you up to speed on everything happening on the road to the Final Four, with Selection Sunday just days away, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Leo Vincent in, number 5, he's a shooter.
Air ball that time, DJ Clayton, ahead of the pack, junior from Oakland, California. Evans rotates it corner. Madison Williams, this time it rattles out. Phil Fain trying to stick it back, and he does.
Bowl almost got a piece of that. As a matter of fact, I think he touched it with his fingertips, and it went in anyway. Fain is a JC player, very welcome addition to the team this season. Last year, Southern Illinois, 22 wins. Last year, Illinois State, 18.
O'Brien with 10 to shoot. O'Brien in the lane with the left.
Sean O'Brien.
O'Brien looks better in this game than he did yesterday. I think his back is loosened up.
Yeah. Even with his tough game, had a couple of key assists late. And Evans knocks one down.
I love this guy. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, plays with a smile on his face, and he is confident. When McIntosh was out, he was the starter. He's had to adjust to being sub, starter, back to sub again.
It's a 12-4 Redbird run, and now a travel on Rodriguez. And that gets us to the under 12, 23-12 score.
Barry Hinson wants them to move the ball. He plays to win. When he was a senior, they beat Tennessee in the NCAA tournament. He made the shot to win the game. He knows about winning. He is connected to this program.
check in again with John Schriffen.
Well, guys, in that last time out, Southern Illinois head coach Barry Hinson was not happy with his guys. He told them, quit trying to hit the home run. The ball is just stopping, and one guy is just trying to do too much. Keep moving the ball. We'll get back into this game.
All right, John, tracked down in the corner. Trying to keep it alive. Good effort by Madison Williams, but back to the Salukis.
Illinois State is 5 of 8 from three-point range already in this game. They've got 7 assists on 9 baskets. That is team basketball for sure.
So in the quarters, the Redbirds started just 2 of 8. And they, as you alluded to, they scored on 9 of the first 13 possessions before that.
That possession after the timeout, Barry Hinson got the attention of his team because they were much tighter on the three-point shooters.
Exactly what John alluded to. It's out of bounds and back to Illinois State. 17-1 in the Valley in the regular season. Their first conference title in nearly 2 decades. It's Jonathan Wiley, Jr. from Houston, Texas, in for the Salukis.
Wiley has some length. He needs more strength. Got banged around a little bit in yesterday's game. Harris Lee has been out for a long time.
They've been fine without him, I guess you could say that. McIntosh had it blocked by Teak Pole. And a tie up underneath.
That's what we talked about in the open. Teak Pole needs to challenge inside plays. 74 blocks on the season for this young man. He's a junior, 6'8". Grew up in Sudan. Family moved here to Omaha, went to junior college, now doing the job here for the Salukis.
McIntosh the fall away, too strong, and tracked down by Wiley.
Better D by the Salukis, last 2 possessions. They got to find something at this end.
Here's Lloyd.
They need to go deeper into the shot clock.
Aaron Cook with it. Off the Southern Illinois bench, knocked away by Evans. Officials get together. It'll stay with Southern. It'll stay at this end.
Well, Barry Hinson does not have a striped shirt, so he doesn't get to officiate the game.
Well, he got his call. It's staying with the Salukis.
Harris Lee back in the game. One of my all-time favorites. There was a guy at UNI last year named Wes Washburn who was our favorite in the conference. They got to the NCAAs. They won this event last year.
Yeah, and that championship game on CBS was memorable. Blocked underneath. The defense that time by Phil Fain. So between Fain, Lee, and Wills, their defense, those are the guys that really set the tone.
No doubt about it.
Here comes Lee. Hawkins. Got it.
How about the pass? Right on the money. Hawkins, all he had to do was catch and shoot. No adjustment whatsoever.
26-12.
Hawkins, by the way, we haven't talked about him a lot. He's the leading scorer and rebounder on this team.
Leo Vincent in and out. Tapped out. Tracked down by Lloyd.
SIU has not had great three-point shooting throughout the season.
And a foul.
Take a look. Last possession. The block. Beautiful from the weak side. And that led to this beautiful pass. One step, follow through. Wave goodbye to that ball, baby. That's the way to do it.
They started 4 of 5 on threes. 6 of 10 from the arc. At the moment. Floater. Rattles home for Mike Rodriguez.
He's got to do more of that for them to stay in the game, Brent.
Oh. Phil Fain got loose. Couldn't connect. Kept alive, though. Clayton kicks. In rhythm. You bet. Paris Lee.
On display. What a player.
And it's 29-14. Barry Hinson needs timeout.
Redbirds. That's what Wichita State is trying to do. They are beating teams to a drum in the last half of the season. At home by 31 points a game. And Illinois State making a statement right here to all of the bracketologists out there that they can play.
See if Jerry Palm, our CBS guy, is watching closely. Fain, good defense, and then the rebound for Illinois State.
They can push it, they can defend, and they have size.
We had them in January. Dan Muller said, what I like most about these guys at the defensive end, they take it personal if we don't hold opponents to around 36, 35% shooting. And they want to know after every game, even in blowouts, what the guys off the bench who mopped up in the end, what they did to keep that defensive number down.
Amen.
Rodriguez slithering in that time for another one at the rim.
He needs to do more of that. We just said it a minute ago. He heard us. Mike is a tough player. Leading scorer on their team. Smallest guy. He is a competitor.
Hawkins turnaround. Short. Foul and a rebound.
Ill-advised shot by Hawkins for sure right there. At the other end, let's give some love to the Salukis. Rodriguez, English off the board, nice. If you're Illinois State and you're a bowler, you don't want to say anything to you guys. They're playing so low, you just let them go. But you can't fall in love with the three because that is not their total signature. Their signature, as you've described very well, is their toughness at the defensive end and their work on the offensive glass. That's where they win games.
So Southern Illinois down by 13 here. They need to hit a bunch of shots, and they have been offensively challenged a lot throughout the year. And another turnover here. And they need Illinois State clearly to miss some shots, and Illinois State is not playing along with that aspect of it. You see the turnovers now at 5 for the Salukis.
Yeah, we talked it before the game about 12 being the magic number. They got to be under 12 to be in this game.
They need Paris Lee to miss, and he finally does. Rattles out that time. Rodriguez back the other way for SIU. Rodriguez pull up from 15, off the heel, and a long rebound out to Fain.
Good blockouts all around by Illinois State. That's on.
Talk about the veteran guys that have been in the program, and then you get an addition this year like Fain.
Clayton also. Yeah. Both of those guys have played major roles for this team. Fain as the starter. Clayton as a six-man off the bench.
Evans with it, 8 to shoot. Evans turned the corner, high off the glass, no. And the board for O'Brien. Vincent, and off the foot of O'Brien, back into the hands of Stradniks. And he couldn't finish inside. Back the other way. Clayton lost the handle on the way up.
Sloppy both ends.
O'Brien wants to go on Fain. Vincent. Rodriguez. Vincent in rhythm. 3 players on the deck, and it's a tie-up. Now tonight, 6 Eastern Bracket Week presented by Kubota continues here on CBS Sports Network. The second semifinal here in St. Louis. The 2-seed Wichita State, they shared the regular season title in the Valley with Illinois State. They will take on a bit of a surprise Missouri State, the 6th seed.
Only upset so far in the tournament in terms of the seeds holding until the finals. Wichita State has only won 28 games this year. They've won 33 out of the last 4 years.
They are 21st ranked, Bob. Let's put them in the NCAA tournament already.
I am with you, brother.
I believe regardless, Bob, of what happens with Wichita State today, they should be in. Are you?
I think that they were in a long time ago in my mind. Nobody's in until Sunday, yes. That's for sure, right?
O'Brien on the drive, up and under with the left, and it's stuck. So a tie-up again, and it'll go the other way this time.
O'Brien on the interior is a cerebral player. He and Bowl as a combination, usually pretty good for this team. You know, they were 9-9 in the regular season. You talked about how both of the 2 top teams were 17-1. The 3rd place team, 9-9. So nobody was close to those 2 for sure. Zone defense, I like it. Change the pace of the game. Try to get Illinois State out of their rhythm.
Inside the screen, 5 to shoot, Williams. Across the lane, 2 to shoot, 3, McIntosh. Got it.
How about that? Terrific pass by Fain as well. McIntosh with the torn meniscus comes back in 2 weeks and plays.
He got the surgery, February 1st, and he played on the 14th.
Check out this pass when the ball goes underneath the basket. There's a lot of crowd there. As a result, the pass comes right back outside. That's what you want as the shot clock expires. This is a team that is in the groove right now.
8 of 13 from the arc for the Redbirds. Madison Williams, inside a screen. Evans, and now Fane.
ISO. Coming back this way.
Fane and O'Brien banks it off, no. Tap try, no. It'll stay at this end.
There was an example of a good one-on-one clear and two guys on the weak side going after the offensive glass. That is good basketball. Even though they didn't score on it, they maintained possession and a new shot clock. Evans can shoot it.
And a push on the way in on Lloyd.
I think what's interesting with Muller, he has had Paris Lee out of this game several times for long stretches. And I think the reason he's doing it, Brent, is because he understands that he's winning, everything's going really well, and he knows he's probably got Wichita State coming up. And, of course, he wants Paris Lee to be well rested for what that eventuality happens, and that would be an awesome battle.
Lee, the active leader in career steals right now in the country. Hawkins kicks for McIntosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Hawkins, the rebound, and the putback.
Are you kidding me? What a great rebound by Hawkins. He went straight up. 99 times out of 100, that's an offensive foul. He went straight up, no lean, and then finishes it.
Bob, we've seen this movie a few times in the last couple of years from Illinois State. Knocked out under 4. 34-16, the Redbirds of Illinois State. A magical run in the regular season, continuing that at Arch Madness. If they made the Final Four, it would not be a shock.
I'm telling you. And, of course, Tim Jankovic, Coach of the Year, possibility. 9-0 last year when Larry Brown was suspended. Only 4 losses this year, 25-4. That's a pretty good record.
I mean, you say, well, they're only 16th. That could be a problem. Well, yeah, it could, but all season it hasn't been. They don't foul, and they're one of the best assist teams, if not the best, in the entire nation.
Everybody shoots. 4 guys shoot north of 40% from 3 for the Mustangs.
Good job to clean that one up. Skying through is Armand Fletcher, and Southern Illinois, Bob, had gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal, so key to get one out of the timeout there.
That is not unusual when you play against the Redbirds. They have plenty of games where teams go longer than that without scoring.
Paris Lee is back in, but as you said, they've managed his minutes nicely, knowing that, again, if they get through here, probably going to get Wichita State in the final tomorrow.
No doubt. Hawkins likes the face-up.
Spins on the baseline, missed it, and they tap in for DJ Clayton.
How about that for a guy off the bench? He stiff-armed that. Did you notice how his elbow is locked? When you tip the ball, that's what you're supposed to do. A bent elbow is for shooting. A stiff elbow is for tipping.
Rodriguez unable to hit, and then he ties up Clayton. He's gotten aggressive here in the last several minutes.
Watch the screen. Watch his elbow. Stiff elbow on a tip-in. Always do it that way. If your elbow moves as if in a jump shot, ball's going to go off track. Terrific play right there by Clayton.
36-18, 2.5 remaining.
Zone D, 2-3 variety. Dissection by Lee.
Clayton floats it up and in. So
this is too good, man.
You got the stiff arm, and then how about that release?
Oh, my goodness. Talk about unselfish play. Southern Illinois is not a team that was at the bottom of the league. They're 9-9, the 4th seed.
And what an effort. The save by Injai. And now they're going to give him a chance to come up and set a screen for Lee.
NJ's getting a lot of good quality minutes here. That's good for him.
Lee pulls it. Got it.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. I cannot believe what I am seeing.
It's a 12-2 Illinois State run. And they have had a phenomenal first half. And another steal, and ahead to Tony Wills, who had it stripped that time on the way in by Aaron Cook.
Nice play by Cook. A lot of red in this building right now.
Teague Pohl had it blocked by Njai. Pohl stayed with it and scores.
Nice play there, huh? He was knocked down, he was out of the play, and he stayed with it. Beautiful.
Quick timeout. Illinois State 102 first half. Dan Muller's team. Wow. Two steals per game and just above 5 assists per game.
In his place right now, Evans, Keyshawn Evans, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He and Lee together play frequently, especially in endgame tough situations.
Phil Fain through the lane, had it blocked by Pohl. And ahead they come with the numbers. Rodriguez shovels it to Bull. Spins in the lane, couldn't finish. Tapped around and ripped away by Fain. So
good hustle there, both teams, right?
Beg your pardon, 10-second difference game and shot here.
There you go.
Final 20 seconds of semifinal number 1 here at Arch Madness. In his first half with Evans. Fain attacks and dunks it. 6 seconds, Southern Illinois. Down to 4 for Rodriguez. Rodriguez blocked by Fain. And that's how the first half ends.
Unbelievable performance by Illinois State. Offense, defense, shooting. And of course, he knows about how to be as a player and as a coach.
Bob, they hit 9 threes, as we saw in the stats. Their season best is 14. What's amazing to me is their calling card is defense.
That's right.
But that was pretty offensively. On Fletcher. A good start. So what does Southern Illinois, Bob, need to do to climb back into this?
Yeah, well, they can't keep the fast pace going. I know they're behind by a lot of points, but they've got to get a quality shot each time. And if you take a quality shot early against if you take early shots against Illinois State, they're not going to be quality. So they've got to work their offense and then really stiffen it up at this end, which they have not done.
Harris Lee now at a dozen. He has knocked down 4 of 5 at the arc.
And you were about to make a very good point, and part of what you were saying, I totally agree with. The three-point shot is not the signature of Illinois State basketball. It's tough, it's hard-nosed, half-court defense and rebounding. And when they put those things together with great three-point shooting, watch out.
It's a dangerous team. If they can get in the NCAA tournament, going to be a tough out. Mikhail McIntosh. So that's 11 made threes now for the Redbirds, and it's 49-22.
Oh, the fire department, man. Holy cow.
Fletcher picked up by Lee. O'Brien against Hawkins. Turnaround wouldn't go. And ripped down by Deontay Hawkins.
Nice challenge by Hawkins. 6'9" and long.
McIntosh. No. If Illinois State, again, barring a miracle, they're going to get into this final. They match up with Wichita State. Look out.
Both 17-1. Both great defensive teams. Both teams very athletic.
And they split in the regular season. Illinois State beat them on their home floor by 14. Then late in the year, Wichita State returned the favor with a 41-point drubbing of these Redbirds.
That was a statement game by Marshall and his group in that one.
The second semifinal comes your way here on CBS Sports Network. Wichita State against Missouri State tonight. Shot wouldn't fall from the corner, and a foul on the rebound.
Balance required right now. Illinois State can't go crazy with three-point shooting. I know there's some open shots right there. They'd be well advised to get it inside a little bit.
Foul on Lloyd, his second, and Leo Vincent back in for the Salukis.
Lloyd is the nephew of Lewis Lloyd, who played at Drake and played in the NBA for 7 years out of Philly Overbrook High School. He's a great player in the Valley.
Tony Wills got it.
He lights that just off the middle center, just left of center, straight out. Favorite spot.
They are 12 of 20 at the arc now. Their season best for a game is 14 made threes.
Didn't you just tell me the Cavs had some
They had 25. An NBA record last night.
Maybe the kids saw that and thought they might try to go for it, huh?
Well, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving need to be watching this game. Hawkins, too strong. Rebounded by Vincent. And ahead to Rodriguez. Rodriguez straight to the rim. And he draws the bump.
The problem with shooting a lot of threes is when you're missing them like that, you're going to give this team an opportunity to get out and run because there's long misses. And when there's a long miss, a guy like Rodriguez can get the ball and motor to the other end of the floor. So Illinois State, I mean, clearly they're playing great right now, no doubt about that, and you go with it. But I think they need to get a little bit of a balance in their offense right now. And I've said that a couple of times. Substitutes coming in right now, depth a big factor in this game.
That was the first foul shot of the entire game. Clean first out.
No doubt about it. Went too fast.
We've had a couple of games where the flow was a little difficult. This has not been one of those games.
No doubt about it. Rodriguez trying to create some action with full court pickup here.
3.5 minutes into the second half. Illinois State up big. Top seed in the Valley Tournament against the 4-seed Southern Illinois, which beat Loyola of Chicago in the quarterfinals yesterday.
In a tight one, 55-50 in that particular game.
That was a grinded out game, huh?
No doubt about it.
Rodriguez just picked up his second. So Illinois State, look at that. They were 114th in the country in three-point shooting, which goes back to what you just said. This making threes is not their calling card.
No, but I mean, they're reasonable. 36% is pretty good. You know, 33 is the breaking point. 33% of threes is like 50% of twos. That's winning offense.
Good defense by Bull that time. Sean O'Brien wheels up and under, blocks by Injai. And back to Southern Illinois, 52-24 at the under 16.
Think I got it. Get that stuff out of here. Creighton and Butler and Villanova all in great shape in the Big East, and a couple of teams in that conference, like every conference, that are bubble types.
As you like to say, it's simply a snapshot in time when we talk about the bubble and the bracketology.
Exact.
It's moment by moment.
Next Sunday, that's when nobody's in right now. Nobody.
There will be one ticket punch today. That'll be in the Ohio Valley. Mike Rodriguez. The ticket out of the Missouri Valley will be tomorrow on CBS.
I liked it when the Ivy League was the first team because they played no conference tournament, and they were always the first team in because the team that won the regular season was their conference champion, and they were the first team in every year. Not so much anymore. The Ivy League now has a tournament or a half tournament. Only 4 teams are in it.
52-24, early moments of this second half semifinal number 1. We got them both today and tonight here on CBS Sports Network. Wichita State, the 2 seed against the 6 seed. Missouri State to come 30 minutes following the buzzer of this one.
Did you notice on that possession, DJ Clayton brought the ball up, Brent? The reason for that is Rodriguez is such a great defender. They don't want to wear out Evans bringing it up against Rodriguez. Good shot.
How good is Deontay Hawkins, the senior from Dayton, Ohio? 42% this year from the arc, and it's a 12-2 run.
Hey, how many, what's the record for threes now that we're...
15, the Missouri Valley Conference tournament record. 15 set by Drake in 2007 as Rodriguez gets to the rim.
And where are we now? How many we have now?
We are at 13 for Illinois State. 2 away from tying the record. And he would have signed up for 13 of 22 from the arc at this stage of the game.
No doubt about that. Dan Muller, of course, was a great player at Southern Illinois, and it's sort of a circle of life thing right now that he's the coach, and this has been their most wins in the history of the school this year. Unbelievable.
First regular season title since 98.
Since 98 when he played, and they were in the NCAA tournament, beat Tennessee.
Evans, short.
Look at that help. Terrific play right there by Hawkins.
Sean Lloyd. Tapped out by O'Brien. Leo Vincent resets. Vincent pulls it. Left his shot short and pulled down by Hawkins. And the seniors, and right off the top, John Striffen made the point. The core four, the four horsemen, Tony Wills, Deontay Hawkins, Harris Lee, a senior. And these guys, Cal McIntosh, only a junior, the leadership and the way that the rest of these guys have followed their lead has been a fun story to follow the last couple of seasons, and especially this year.
Yeah, especially this year. It all came together. And what you're noticing about the top teams in lots of conferences is there's great chemistry among players, especially at this level where we don't have the one-and-done situation so much. You know, you build and you got guys who play a couple of years with one another. They know where the other guy is all the time, good chemistry. That counts for a lot in basketball.
I like that Dan Muller gives them so much freedom and ownership. Hey, this is your deal.
Yeah.
Like, he'll get together with the core four and say, hey, this is what I need. We need to, like when he was talking about the NCAA tournament, because, it's sort of the elephant in the room sometimes. You want to bring it up or you don't want to. They know what they have to do. So he's had time this year where he gets together with the core four and says, all right, guys, we got to take care of business here. And then he lets them take that message to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And it teaches leadership as well, which is what you want. And, of course, Paris Lee is one of the country's best leaders in college basketball. He was a leader when he played. That guy's the leader now.
He's going to be well rested.
Well, he needs to be well rested if they end up playing Wichita State tomorrow. Of course, we can't get ahead of ourselves. Wichita State has to win a game to get to the championship, but he's going to have to deal with Landry Shamet, who's the freshman of the year in this league, who is a tall point guard.
Checking out the clocks here, shot clock. Shot was a nice block by Aaron Cook, who's been in a couple of nice plays, including 2 on that sequence. Yep, they got the shot clock correct at 29, so we'll continue on. And here's Cook with the ball. O'Brien pops out. It's worth mentioning with Southern Illinois, again, what he was able to piece together, Barry Henson, and get a 4 seed and a 9-9 conference record. Talking about the Dean of the Valley. He had so many good years at Missouri State. Stick back inside. Good job by Fletcher. So many good years in Missouri State, not doing nice things in Carbondale in his 5th year at Southern Illinois.
Yeah, he lost Tyler Smith-Peters after one game this year, his best outside shooter, 6'4" kid, with a knee injury after the first game. So that hurt them a little bit in terms of their outside shooting. 4 players ready to come in at the scorer's table for the Redbirds.
Madison Williams off the bounce. And now Hawkins with 2 to shoot. Out of bounds to Southern Illinois.
Here comes Paris Lee. McIntosh and Fain How about Fain in the first half? He's got 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and I don't know, however many points
4
as a center, okay? I mean, good stuff. Very unselfish.
There you got Lee with a dozen. McIntosh with 13. 6 rebounds from Clayton. I mean, the pieces are here. Under 12. Illinois State, quite a show here today.
Coming this spring.
State while keeping his guys focused on Southern Illinois.
All right, let's check in with John.
Well, Coach Barry Hinson admitted to me at the half that the length of Illinois State is really creating problems. So in that last time out, he was trying to draw up a play to get the ball inside because that's where he really feels like they need to get some touches. And if it doesn't get in there, they're going to kick it back out. But he said their length is really what's causing the havoc right now.
SIU, a total of 12 made field goals. Illinois State has made 13 threes.
That's an interesting stat.
I mean, it's Southern Illinois not the first team to run into Muller's guys this year, where it just, no matter what you draw up, no matter what you try, it's a dead end. Remember in January when he was so happy? It seems like most coaches at least find 1 or 2 things, but Muller came out about an hour before the game out of the locker room and said, we can't do much wrong right now. And it was kind of fun to hear a coach say that. How much fun he was having watching his guys just take such ownership, really at both ends. Down to 3 to shoot, Paris Lee. Way out, Lee. And Phil Fain. That kind of a day.
That was the sloppiest possession of the game by far.
But it still works out.
There's a calmness when Paris Lee gets the ball about the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Fain with the last crawls off. Pulled down by Fletcher.
Good looking shot. Quality.
Vincent. And able to rattle that one home.
Leo's a 6'1" guy. Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. He's a senior, been around. It's pride time for the visitors. Play with some pride. Guard your man. Stay between him and the basket. Block out. Let's get a couple of stops.
McIntosh wheels and scores.
O'Brien can't get off the floor. His back looked like it bothered. Watch him as he's running up the floor here. I think he's getting occasional spasms in the game.
Pick and roll. Shot wouldn't fall for Rudy Stradniks. And back the other way.
McIntosh on the move. Watch him use the glass here. Terrific. Right near the block. He was turning toward the baseline. That was not an easy shot. He was defended well, and he made it anyway. He's from Canada, played on the under-19 team.
Midway in the second half of the first semifinal at Arch Madness. Illinois State, the #1 seed, shared the regular season title with Wichita State. Will be headlining our main event tonight. I'd say it's a co-main, but they're going to be fun to watch against Missouri State later tonight here on CBS Sports Network. Turnaround teep bowl. And Williams ahead for Lee. Fain to the deck. Timeout. .9:04 to play. Semifinal #1.
Once there
Wichita State fans, they don't care about Alize Johnson. They like Marcus McDuffie. And Marcus McDuffie is one of the top 5 players in the conference.
Wichita State fans, they've showed out again. And they show out early. They spent the entire day here yesterday, even though their team wasn't till the evening session. And here early again today. You know, we had a game down in Wichita, and I had some fans kind of corner me. at that game.
You
About
did?
a half hour before tip-off. And they saw the CBS jacket, and they equate that with East Coast, which is located in New York City. And they said, enough of your East Coast bias, and, Wichita State deserves to be in. And I was like, listen, I grew up an hour from here. I grew up in Kansas. I'm one of yours. I'm banging the drum here for you, all right? And so that eased things off a little bit. But no, their fan base is awesome, and they love Greg Marshall, and there's a reason why. A guy like Greg Marshall says, maybe the grass isn't greener somewhere else. I got a pretty good gig going.
I think he and Mark Few think the same way about things. Mark at Gonzaga and he at Wichita State, and the Final Four. Mark hasn't been, but might go this year.
Archie Miller at Dayton, another tough situation. 59-31 in this first semifinal. As Teague Bowl gets underneath, Njai. Bowl stayed with it, couldn't connect. And Keyshawn Evans comes away, sophomore.
Dan Muller yesterday when we were talking to him, he was kind to meet with us. And when you I can't remember whether it was you or John Triffin asked him a question, and he said that the Missouri Valley Conference Championship when he was a player was more important to him than the win that they got in the NCAA tournament. I was a little shocked at that. But what it tells you is, he's a lifer in this conference right now. And this has got to be a magical ride for him right now. With his team playing this championship in 2013, Creighton did.
14 was that year they went unbeaten and then lost to Kentucky in what I thought in the round of 32 was the best game of the tournament that year.
Awesome game. 35-1 that year.
And we talked with Greg Marshall. Hey, when you pretty much know you're going to get in, maybe there isn't as much desperation to win Arch Madness. And he said that won't be a problem this time around because obviously they are on the bubble and don't know exactly what their fate will be, but they can take care of business and win this thing with 2 more victories, including tonight against Missouri State. 7 to play. Another Illinois State takeaway. A chance for some guys to play a little bit that don't often see a lot of minutes. Andre Washington in there for the Redbirds. A freshman from Fort Worth, Texas.
ISO.
Hawkins, well short.
Good D. I'll tell you what, they haven't had an air ball much in this game, and Hawkins hasn't had many in his career. Upset with himself right there. Leading scorer and rebounder for this team. Can play inside and outside.
Stradniks. He's a sophomore from Riga, Latvia.
Same exact play. They ISO'd him on the left elbow again.
Tony Wills. Hawkins. Washington, no. Stradniks pulls it down. And a foul.
You mentioned Barry Hinson, and of course Dan Muller, we've talked a lot about him, but Barry Hinson was very successful at Missouri State and then was fired there a number of years ago and then got the job here. So he's been around a long time in this league, and yesterday we talked to him, and obviously he was saying what he was supposed to say in terms of his team trying to win against Illinois State in this game, but he was making the case also to us about the NCAA tournament and about Illinois State and Wichita State. And he got pretty heated when he was talking about it. And, of course, his point is that both of them should be in the NCAA tournament, not on the basis just of winning the Missouri Valley Championship tournament, but on their great seasons that both have had this year.
That was that closing argument type stuff.
Yeah.
In the courtroom. Yeah. We took notice, and tell you what, there's the resumes of the top 2 seeds here in the Valley this weekend.
Look at the top 2 lines here: 28-4, 26-5, 17-1. Okay, both of the teams 17-1. Usually an RPI in the 30s is going to get you in. The highest RPI I remember, and this might not be factual, but the one I remember was Syracuse last year was in the 70s, low 70s somewhere. And there might have been one higher than that at some point. But, if you're in the 30s, low 30s especially, usually you have a great shot as a measuring stick.
So Wichita State and Illinois State There's Tony Wills. Not this time. Injai fighting for it. Tradnick's got the rebound. Illinois State, Wichita State, they got to get it done. In terms of resume in November and December. And obviously, it's set up for the bigger leagues as Stradnick knocks it down. Bigger leagues to be able to kind of settle into the season a little bit and make some hay in January and February and early March as the regular season winds down. So clearly it's a disadvantage. And Wichita State did have some opportunities. So did Illinois State in the non-conference. And they took some losses in those resume opportunities. But man, they both go 17-1 in the Valley. And tie for the regular season title. And a tie up. When you think about a team like the Shockers, Bob, and what they lost. I mean, are you kidding? It was Baker and Van Fleet and then Evan Wessel, their glue guy. I mean, you're not going to, in November and December, you're not going to be at your very best coming back.
Well, you mentioned two players. Well, you mentioned three. But Van Vliet and Baker, at the end of last year, the prognosticators did not have them playing in the NBA, okay? Both are playing in the NBA. So they've been up and down D-League, but most of them, Toronto and the Knicks, I guess, right?
Yep.
Is where Baker is. So you talk about the undersell of a program or the undersell of players, and the reality of the situation does not really reflect. Wichita State won 2 games last year in the NCAA tournament. And Greg Marshall thinks that this team is just as good.
They've won at least 1 game in the dance each of the last 4 years. Shot clock down to 1. Keyshawn Evans got front iron that time. Picked up by Rodriguez. 4:20 remaining and 59-38. O'Brien draws the foul on Injai on the floor. Coming up next, our panel of college hoops experts in the studio. The latest edition of Inside College Basketball Bracket Week presented by Kubota. We're bringing you up to speed on everything happening on and off the court from around the entire nation, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Adam Zucker getting his guys fired up and motivated for that show as we speak. As Rodriguez able to score off the bounce. And, Zucker is a great motivator.
Yes.
And it takes a little bit to get those guys going a little bit.
I don't think so.
Brendan Haywood, John Rothstein. See what they bring. And Keyshawn Evans, Stradnick's on the switch, and now Williams floats in and scores it.
He's got a scorer's mentality. Madison Williams got in the game in the first half on his first touch, jacked a 3. He's got confidence. They've got confidence. They deserve to be tall point guard. So 12 points on 4 of 6 from downtown for Paris. 5 assists, 0 turnovers.
And again, the Shockers do have to get past Missouri State tonight, but you know what? Along the lines, Muller is thinking Shamet versus Lee. They've knocked down 13 threes, 4 of them, as we showed you there for Paris Lee. As Lloyd hits one at this end. But
Paris usually plays about 28, 29 minutes a game. He's only played 18 minutes in this particular contest.
That's about perfect case scenario for Muller. Then. He's gotten 15 from McIntosh to lead the way. And 10 rebounds. 6 points for Fain as they get another 3. Southern Illinois has knocked down a couple from outside here late. And they put together a nice little run to make it 61-46. Another takeaway, Sean Lloyd to the rim, and he'll be at the line. So
in 1978, when I was an assistant coach at Duke, we went to the final game. Kentucky, we were playing them tightly, as we see a little turnover action right here by the guys who normally practice and don't play. And so Kentucky was way ahead, and we made a run because he put substitutes in. Joe Powell put substitutes in at the end of the game, and we made a run and got right back into the game. And then he put his first team back in the game, and I think that's what's going to happen right now.
There you go. There's Wills, there's Fain, there's Evans. And Hine only got a cup of coffee. Matt Hine, freshman. Again, 15-2 run for Southern Illinois here.
The game ain't over till it's over, right? And we're seeing a good example of that right now.
So it's a 16-2 run, now a 14-point game. With 2:51 left.
What do you do against the press? Well, I'll tell you what, you better be good against the press if you play Wichita State in your next game, because that team can press.
And I just saw Paris Lee take a couple of seats closer to the head coach. So we might not have seen the last of Paris Lee. Tony Wills, no. Rebound for O'Brien. Okay. Leo Vincent hit one a moment ago from downtown.
Paris Lee had a black overshirt on. He does not have that on anymore. It is off on the bench.
Vincent airballed that one, though.
Run the clock, get fouled, go to the free throw line, and make your free throws.
Have you ever seen a game where one team does not shoot a free throw? Because Illinois State has not shot a free throw.
They're going to shoot some down here, down the end, and I have not, to answer your question.
Yeah, it's amazing. Inside, got loose. Now that's a good way to get a little more distance.
Credit that guy in your picture, Evans. Keyshawn doing a good job when Paris Lee is out.
Sean Lloyd. Stradniks. Stradniks again, and that's goaltending.
Boy, he's done a great job since he's been here. A couple of baskets inside, made one from the perimeter.
Barry Hinson's going to walk away from this saying, you know what, we got ourselves a win. We got into the semis, and you know what? Yeah, we got down big against a team that could do no wrong, and we did a little something down the end, and that's the senior Sean O'Brien last go-around.
He's proud of his guys. All-conference player. Great senior year for O'Brien.
12.5 points, 8.5 rebounds a game this year for Sean O'Brien. Tough weekend, though, for him. So we close it out here in St. Louis.
Gigantic crowd here from Illinois State. There is red in half of this arena. The arena holds north of 20,000 people.
Bet you they're going to stay around for the Shockers as well. This atmosphere been pretty darn good. It's only going to get better.
No doubt about it. Coming up next.
Down the lane and a foul and an opportunity for free throws for Austin Wire.
NJ got a ton of minutes in this game.
Illinois State is in the title game. If this is the end of it for them, as they go to the bench, and now Wills and Fain. Do we feel like at this moment, again, it's only a snapshot in time, is Hinson, some of these guys, final go-around for them, and they had a heck of a season getting the 4 seed and getting the win here this weekend, but in your mind, has Illinois State done enough getting to the title game here to make the NCAA tournament?
In my mind, I'm not projecting what the committee is doing. In my opinion, yes. Yes. And Wichita State has done that already. I think 2 teams in this conference deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. That's not metrics. That's just a basketball guy giving his opinion. Has nothing to do with what I think the committee is going to do.
Yep. Well, they're squarely on the bubble, and they could they win the title, and they'll put the drama away, and they can relax till Selection Sunday if they get one more. Illinois State, the number 1 seed, shared the regular season title in the Valley with Wichita State, their first regular season conference title in 19 years, and the run continues. They are into tomorrow's final here at Arch Madness with a 13-point win.
Dan Muller will tell us we got a